Hold on tight, because here comes a bombshell that will shake the foundations of Camp Nou. Our captain, our wall, our hero under the three posts has made a secret decision that changes everything at FC Barcelona. Yes, you heard right, a decision that has left the directors speechless, Hansi Flick in a state of shock, and Kuhls around the world with heavy hearts. Is he staying? Is he leaving? What's happening with our legendary goalkeeper? It's a scandal that no one saw coming. If you're a true Kuhl, if you consider Marco one of the goalkeepers of the century, subscribe now, hit the bell, and join the Barcelona family without limits. No exclusive like this one. Come on, Kuhls, because this is just the beginning. Let's get serious, Kuhls, because what's happening at Barcelona with Ter Stegen is maddening. 4 weeks, no months, the rumors have loomed like vultures over the camp. They say Ter Stegen is finished, that the knee injury has changed him, that Hansi Flick doesn't trust him, that the club wants to save money with his departure. What disrespect! We're talking about Marc-André Ter Stegen, the man who has saved Barcelona time and time again, the captain who wears the crest tattooed on his soul. But wait, because things get even murkier. FC Barcelona, our club, the greatest in the world, has decided to get itself into quite a mess. They went and recruited Joan Garcia, the goalkeeper from Espanyol, paying his release clause. Yes, you heard right, from Espanyol. Seriously, Laporta, seriously, Flick? They're bringing in a goalkeeper from a rival team to compete with our Ter Stegen? It's like telling Lionel Messi he'd have to fight for his place with a youngster. It's madness. But that's not all. According to rumors, the club has shown Ter Stegen the exit door, hinting that he's no longer the undisputed starter, that now Joan Garcia is above him in the hierarchy. My God, Kuhls, it's an outrage. And that's not all. From Turkey, the vultures of Galatasaray have lurked, offering him a millionaire contract to replace Fernando Muslera. There's also talk of Manchester United wanting a replacement for Onana, and even Monaco. Everyone wants our goalkeeper. But do you know what? Ter Stegen is not just any player, he's a true Kuhl, a warrior who doesn't give up. And what he has decided to do in the midst of this chaos is something no one expected. Get ready, because here's the news of the year. Ter Stegen has had enough. He has faced the club, the rumors, the pressures, and made a decision that shows he is more Kuhl than ever. Ready? Ter Stegen is staying at Barcelona. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, our captain has rejected all the millionaire offers that have come his way. He said no to Galatasaray, no to Manchester United, no to Monaco, and decided to stay at camp to fight, of course, like the titan he is. It's a scandal of epic proportions. But wait, there's more. Ter Stegen isn't just staying, he's ready to declare sporting war in Barcelona's goal. Joan Garcia, Szczesny, whoever it is, will have to sweat blood to take his place, because Marc is not just any goalkeeper, he's a living legend. Do you remember that impossible save against Bayern in 2015? Or how he supported the team in the worst moments of the post-Messi era? This man has Barcelona's DNA running through his veins, and he won't let anyone take what's his. And here's another detail that will leave you speechless. Ter Stegen spoke clearly during the Nations League with Germany. Do you know what he said? He knows that next season, he will be at Barcelona. A slap in the face to all those who doubted him. And that's not all. He also hinted that no one at the club had the courage to talk to him face to face about his future. Watch out, Laporta, watch out, Flick. It's a wake-up call. Ter Stegen says, I'm here, I'm the captain, and I'm going to reclaim my throne. But, Kuhls, not everything is rosy. Ter Stegen's decision complicates the club's plans. Barcelona is in a brutal economic crisis, and freeing up Ter Stegen's salary was one of the options to clean up the accounts. Now, with Marc standing his ground, the management is at an impasse. What will they do? Force him to leave? Pay him to go away? It would be a sacrilege. We're talking about a player who has a contract until 2028, who, at 33, is at the peak of his career, and who has just shown with Germany that he is in top form after his injury. Ter Stegen is untouchable, end of story. Now, Kuhls, let's analyze what this decision means for FC Barcelona, because it's not just news, it's an earthquake that will change the course of the club. Firstly, in the locker room, Ter Stegen is the captain, the leader, the one who brings order when things go wrong. If the club tries to sideline him, what message does it send to youngsters like LAMINE Yamal? That loyalty is worth nothing, That you can give everything for Barcelona and still be shown the door? It's unacceptable. Ter Stegen is an example to all, and his decision to stay shows that Barcelona is still the greatest club in the world, a club worth fighting for. Secondly, on the field, the arrival of Joan Garcia has caused a huge stir. Some say he is the future, that he is young, that he has potential, very well. But the present is Ter Stegen. Who will stop the balls in the key matches of the Champions League? A youngster from Espanyol or the goalkeeper who has lifted trophies with Barcelona? The answer is obvious. And be careful, because Hansi Flick, who knows Ter Stegen from the German national team, knows perfectly well what Mark can bring. If Flick is smart, and I believe he is, he will make Ter Stegen the undisputed starter and let Joan Garcia learn in his shadow. Thirdly, in the club's accounts, that's where things get ugly. Barcelona needs money, and Ter Stegen's departure would have been a way to lighten the wage bill. But now, with Mark staying, the club has a problem. Will they pay Nico Williams' release clause? Will they strengthen the defense? Everything is up in the air, and Ter Stegen's decision puts the management against the wall. But, Kules, I'm clear. I prefer a Barcelona with Ter Stegen and no money to a Barcelona without Ter Stegen and full coffers, because Mark is the soul of this team. Get ready, because now we're entering the eye of the storm, the hottest part of this scandal. What FC Barcelona is doing to Marc-André Ter Stegen is not just a mistake, it's a real disgrace, an absurdity that cries out for revenge. We're talking about a club that claims to be more than a club, an institution that should respect its legends. But what we see is undignified treatment of our captain, our wall, our hero under the three posts. This is not just a sporting drama, it's a betrayal of Barcelona's values, and Kules around the world are boiling with anger. Let's start from the beginning. Victor Font, former candidate for the club's presidency and a voice respected by many, has come out to speak loudly, and his words have been like a punch on the table. Font has accused Joan Laporta's management of harassing Ter Stegen. Yes, you heard right. Harassment. He said it is absolutely reprehensible that a player of Mark's caliber, a captain who has given everything for the crest, has to learn about the club's plans through the press, as if he were just anybody. How is it possible that no one in the management had the courage to sit down with him, look him in the eye, and talk about his future? This is not just disrespectful, it's a stab in the back of a man who has defended Barcelona's goal with his life. And it's not just Font who is outraged. On social media, Kules supporters are on fire. On X, the hashtag Ter Stegen stays is trending with thousands of messages of support for our goalkeeper. Posts like, "Mark is the soul of Barcelona," "Don't touch him," or "Respect your captain," are repeated over and over. But there are also comments that hurt, as a minority dares to question Ter Stegen. They say he is no longer at the same level as before, that his injury has changed him, that Joan Garcia is the future. Please, what a lack of memory. Have they already forgotten Mark's impossible saves against Bayern in 2015, or how he supported the team in the worst years of the post-Messi era? This is not just unfair, it's disloyal to a player who has never given less than 100%. But the controversy doesn't stop there. There is an even darker issue, and that is the way the club is using Ter Stegen's dream of being a starter in the 2026 World Cup with Germany. Some rumors, and be careful, because this is serious, suggest that the management is trying to manipulate Mark by insinuating that if he doesn't play regularly, he will lose his place in the German national team. That's playing dirty, Kules. We're talking about emotional blackmail, pressure on a player using his most personal ambition. Ter Stegen has fought his entire career to be number one in Germany, and now, after overcoming a devastating injury, he is at the top of his game. During the Nations League against Bosnia, he made a save in the last minute that secured a crucial draw. Against the Netherlands, his play with his feet initiated an action that ended in a goal. Julian Nagelsmann, the German coach, has publicly said that he trusts Mark, and Barcelona, instead of supporting him, seems to want to use him as a bargaining chip. This is unacceptable. And then there is the question of Hansi Flick. There is a lot to unravel, as the German coach is at the center of this storm. Flick knows Ter Stegen from the national team, he knows his worth, he knows he is a born leader. But there are rumors, and these rumors hurt, that say Flick does not see Mark as the undisputed starting goalkeeper. They say he prefers Joan Garcia for his youth, that he sees Szczęsny as a more reliable option for big matches. My God, Kules, this cannot be true. Flick, who has coached goalkeepers like Manuel Neuer, should know that Ter Stegen is at that level, if not above. If Flick is behind this pressure on Mark, then he is making the biggest mistake of his career. And if it's not Flick, then it's the management leaking these rumors to justify their decisions. Either way, someone needs to speak up and explain why a club legend is being treated this way. Another point we cannot ignore is the press. The media, especially some that are not precisely friends of Barcelona, have taken advantage of this scandal to fan the flames. Headlines like Ter Stegen on the tightrope or Barcelona no longer trusts its captain are titles that seek clicks but do terrible harm. And the worst part is that the club has not come out to deny anything. Where is the official statement saying that Ter Stegen is our captain and our starting goalkeeper? Where is Laporta defending his player? The club's silence is deafening, and this silence fuels the narrative that Mark is alone in this battle. And we cannot forget the impact in the locker room. Imagine what players like GAVI, PEDRI, or YAMAL must be thinking. These youngsters see Ter Stegen as a reference, the leader who guides them in difficult times. If the club treats its captain this way, what message are they sending to the youngsters? That loyalty doesn't matter, that you can give everything for Barcelona and still be shown the door? This doesn't just affect Ter Stegen, it affects the morale of the entire team. A divided locker room is a weak team, and a weak team doesn't win titles. Finally, let's talk about the grassroots supporters, those who fill the Camp Nou, those who watch the matches from home, those who wear the crest in their hearts. We, the Gules, will not remain silent. Ter Stegen is not just a player, he is one of us. He's the kind of guy who stays until the end of training, who greets the fans, who wears the armband with pride. If the club continues down this path, it will find itself with a supporter rebellion, because we do not forget, we do not forgive, and we will not allow our captain to be disrespected. Ter Stegen stays, end of story. Gules, if you are as outraged as I am by this scandal, if you believe that Ter Stegen deserves all the respect in the world, subscribe now to Barca Without Limits, hit the bell, and join us to defend our Barcelona with our nails and teeth. Come on, Gules, together we are stronger. Now that we have unraveled this scandal from all angles, it is time to look ahead, to talk about the future. What does Marc-André Ter Stegen's decision to stay at FC Barcelona mean? What impact will it have on our club, on the team, on the supporters? Let me be clear, this is not just another piece of news. It's a turning point, a moment that can define the course of Barcelona in the years to come. And above all, it's a statement of intent from our captain. Mark is not giving up, not selling out, not leaving, and that, Gules, is a source of pride. Let's start with Ter Stegen. His decision to stand his ground, to say, I'm staying and I'm fighting, is an act of bravery in a football world where everything seems to revolve around money. These days, we see players switching teams for a bigger paycheck, a longer contract, or a brighter project. But Mark has the Barcelona crest tattooed on his soul. Turning down million-dollar offers from clubs like Galatasaray, Manchester United, or Monaco is not something everyone does. We're talking about a goalkeeper at the peak of his career, at 33, with a contract until 2028, who could have gone anywhere, been an undisputed starter, and filled his pockets. But no, Mark chose to stay at Camp Nou, to fight, of course, and to prove that he is still the best. Do you know what that means? It means Ter Stegen is more of a Gules than many who were born in Barcelona. Now, what does the future hold for Mark in this new chapter? It won't be a bed of roses, that's clear. The competition in Barcelona's goal has become a jungle. Joan Garcia, the young goalkeeper from Espanyol, arrives hungry, eager to conquer the world. At 23, he's a promise, a boy with quick reflexes and a promising future. But, Gules, let's be realistic. Is he ready to be Barcelona's number one, to stop shots in a Clásico, in a Champions League quarter-final match, with Camp Nou roaring? I don't see it. Then there's Wojciech Szczesny, a veteran with experience at Juventus and Arsenal, a goalkeeper who knows what it's like to play on big stages. But Szczesny, at 35, doesn't have the future ahead of him, and his style doesn't fit Barcelona's possession game as well as Ter Stegen's. Mark, with his ball-playing ability, reflexes, and leadership, remains the king of the goal, and he will have to prove it every day in training. And that's where Hansi Flick comes in, because the German coach will have a key role in this saga. Flick has a tough decision to make. Bet on Ter Stegen as the undisputed starter or give minutes to Garcia and Szczesny to try out his options. If Flick is smart, and I believe he is, he will make Mark the number one without hesitation, because Ter Stegen is not just a goalkeeper, he's a leader, a captain who inspires the team. During training, young players like LAMINE, YAMAL or GAVI look up to Mark, see how he works, how he gives his all, and it motivates them to do the same. If Flick sidelines Ter Stegen, he won't just be making a tactical mistake, he'll also be breaking the chemistry in the locker room. And a broken locker room, Kules, is a team that doesn't win titles. But Ter Stegen's future also depends on the club. Joan Laporta's management needs to think. They need to realize that Mark is a treasure, an asset that cannot be replaced. If they continue to leak rumors, bring in goalkeepers to pressure him, treat him as if he's replaceable, they will find themselves with an even bigger problem, because the Kules, we will not stand idly by. Ter Stegen is one of us, and if the club mistreats him, the supporters will rebel. Imagine Camp Nou chanting, Ter Stegen, while the management tries to justify their decisions. It would be a revolution, and rightfully so. Let's put things into perspective, Kules. Ter Stegen is not just any goalkeeper, he's one of the best in the world. Let's compare him with Joan Garcia and Wojciech Szczesny to understand why this drama is so absurd. Ter Stegen, 33, has played 413 matches for Barcelona, with 167 clean sheets and an average of 0.99 goals conceded per match in La Liga. Last season, Joan Garcia, 23, played only 66 matches for Espanyol, with an average of 1.2 goals conceded per match in La Liga. Szczesny, 35, has played 376 matches in his career and an average of 1.1 goals conceded per match in his last season with Juventus. Mark's numbers are elite, and his ability to play from the back is unmatched. Garcia's youth and potential are promising, but he is not yet proven at this level. Szczesny has vast experience, but his best days are behind him. Look at their performances in big matches. Ter Stegen's exploits in the 2015 Champions League, including the final, are legendary. Garcia's biggest stage to date, the second division playoffs. Szczesny has had his moments, like the 2017 Champions League final, but he has never faced the pressure of being Barcelona's number one. Mark's ability to perform in decisive moments, like that double save against Real Madrid in October 2024, sets him apart. And let's not forget the intangibles. Ter Stegen's leadership as captain, his connection with the supporters, his decade-long commitment to the club, are immeasurable things. Garcia has potential, but he is not yet a leader. Szczesny is a veteran, not a Kule at heart. The statistics, the history, the passion, it's clear who the real number one is. Now, Kules, let's imagine the unthinkable, a Barcelona without Ter Stegen. Imagine this, a crucial Champions League match, the score is tied, and a shot is heading towards the goal. Who do you trust? The young Joan Garcia, inexperienced in these moments, or a veteran like Szczesny, who has never worn the Blaugrana jersey? Just thinking about it gives me chills. Without Ter Stegen, the defense would feel vulnerable. His ability to organize the defense, his vocal leadership, his skill in making impossible saves, these are the qualities that define Barcelona's resilience. In the 2023-24 season, Barcelona's defense was occasionally unstable, conceding 44 goals in La Liga. Ter Stegen's 12 clean sheets kept them in the title race. Without him, those numbers could have been much worse. The club's financial problems prevent them from losing a player of his caliber. Selling him, for example, to Galatasaray for €30 million could relieve the accounts, but at what cost? The loss of a captain, a fan favorite, a player with Blaugrana blood. The supporters would rebel. Imagine Camp Nou chanting, Ter Stegen, while the management scrambles to give explanations. And what about the young players like GAVI, PEDRI, and LAMINE YAMAL? They admire Mark, and his departure could undermine their confidence, break the team's chemistry, and derail Flick's project. The risk is enormous, and the reward uncertain. At best, Ter Stegen's decision to stay is a lifeline for a club on the brink of the abyss. Kules, we have reached the end of this video, but the Ter Stegen scandal is far from over.